welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom, and this is going to be my top 10 list for the movies that I have seen in 2018. Now this list is going to be comprised of my own personal picks, and there are a lot of movies I haven't seen, particularly the kind of the latter half of the year. I haven't seen Creed 2, Aquaman, Bumblebee, Into the Spider-Verse, so if I've missed out a movie, it could be that I just haven't seen it. Plus I do see a lot of indie films. There's probably going to be a few movies that you may not have heard on this list. So let's get on with it. Number 10, this is going to be The Meg. Now this may surprise people because it's clearly obviously not a particularly artistic movie, and I've actually kind of decided whether to put Halloween or The Meg on this one. But I bought the Blu-ray steelbook of The Meg, and I'm probably not going to bother with Halloween, and that's what tipped it over for me. I think that The Meg has more rewatchability for me, and it's great as a kind of just a guilty pleasure throwaway bit of fun. Number 9, we have Game Night. This is a mystery comedy movie that is kind of reminded me a little bit of the movie The Man Who Knew Too Little, about these kind of guys that are playing this game, at least what they think is a game, and it actually turns out that they are playing in a real life kind of crime scenario, and I thought it was very, very funny. Speaking of funny, let's talk about number 8, The Snarling. This is a British werewolf movie that was an absolute delight. When I first saw this movie, I thought it was going to be a bog standard kind of horror movie, low budget one that kind of gets knocked out, and the horror side of it is actually kind of like that. But what sets this movie apart is the truly hilarious script. The characters here are all ball-bustingly funny. It's kind of a very much a Shaun of the Dead with werewolves, obviously in a lot lower budget. And although the horror side of it is, you know, mediocre, the comedy side of it for me was brilliant. Number 7 is The Nun. This actually may be a little controversial because I have seen this on a couple of people's worst movies list, but I actually enjoyed this movie. I'm a big fan of the Conjuring movies, and I really enjoyed the aesthetics of this film. I thought Valak makes a great kind of movie villain, and I just thought the kind of the Romanian setting and all the kind of the nunnery and all that were absolutely fantastic. And it did have some kind of quite neat jump scares, and was visually very, very interesting. Number 6 is a movie called Madtown, and I reviewed this right at the beginning of the movie. And this stars the guy who was in Heroes, Milo Ventimiglia, I think his name is. I've butchered that, I'm sure I have. And it's actually not a film we would generally review here, but I got sent the screener of this, so I kind of watched it and really enjoyed it. And it's a kind of a drama about a guy who has a very sheltered life and is maybe a little bit slow. And he's kind of indoctrination into the real world, so to speak. It's a bittersweet movie that has a darker side and kind of gets a little bit kind of like tense towards the end, but I thought it was fantastically acted, and I just loved the characters in this movie. This is how you do characterization. Number 5 was a Korean movie called Gonjayam. Probably butchered that as well, and this was a haunted asylum movie. I do love a haunted asylum movie. And I thought this movie was particularly scary. It takes a while for it to kind of get going. I think that maybe the first kind of half of this movie is a little bit slow. But once we get into the asylum, it is truly scary. This is actually a real place as well that exists. Number 4 is Terrifier. I'm not a huge fan of slasher films, but this was a real good film. I really enjoyed this one. And Art the Mime was a particularly compelling bad guy, and this has truly got some of the most graphic deaths in it. I actually found this a lot more interesting than the Halloween movie, which I enjoyed, but to me that was very much standard slasher film. This one was really just a kind of, you know, it doesn't massively new the genre, admittedly, but nonetheless I just found it a lot of fun to watch, and you just got the sense that this character was so unpredictable. I loved it. Overlord, this is a bigger budget movie that I saw at the cinema. I'm so glad I did. It's a kind of a World War II revisionist history type thing where we have this kind of small group of American soldiers that obviously go in and discover that the Nazis are playing around with things that they shouldn't, and we have a Nazi zombie movie. It's actually as a war film as well. Very well made, likeable characters, and I'm so glad I saw this one at the cinema. Number 3, we have The Ritual. This might be cheating a little bit because I do think it came out in the festival circuit in 2017, but I think it was on Netflix and DVD release in 2018. So I'm counting it. And this was a great horror film, a kind of like a pagan, basically guys lost in the woods movie that they discover that there's something strange in there, and it is strange. What they discover is strange, but it's also genuinely unsettling and very, very well acted. And I love this group of guys who seem very natural as friends. Fantastic movie. I'm just trying to see if I can get a Blu-ray release of this, because at the moment you can only get it on DVD, which is annoying. Number 1, Avengers Infinity War. We've got to go out with a bang. Although I think there are better Marvel movies than this one, this was such an event with such a kind of like a oh my god ending to it. I mean, if you're a Marvel fan, you're kind of maybe a bit more aware, but nonetheless, I think if you didn't know, I think this movie would be so affecting. And it was just, you know, one kind of set piece after another, so I thought it was fantastic. So that is my list of top 10 movies. I've also got a list of my worst movies here on the channel. Please do go check it out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.